All right. Very cool. From my good friend, Paul K. Good evening, everybody. Live tonight on YouTube. Hope you all doing well. We're going to be sharing this cast over to Facebook. I used to do Facebook Live a lot, but YouTube's kind of fun too. So you guys can catch this on the rebroadcast, if you will, or anybody that's following me over here. Come on over and say hi. So let's do something right now. What is today? Today is April 1st, correct? So let's do this. Just indulge me for a minute. Let's see exactly April Fool's Day. You guys may have looked at this already, but April Fool's Day or April Fool's Day or April Fool's Day, or probably all April Fool's Day. It's a day of playing practical jokes. You know, and hoaxes, the jokes and their victims are called April Fools. All right, so the origins, a disputed association. And foolishness is in Geoffrey Chaucer's The Canterbury Tales. Okay. So this goes back a way. So I'm not, I knew it was going to be France, the Netherlands. It's kind of like trying to discover the real origins of Christmas. But I do know that there was a break-in at one of the local police stations the other day here. And whoever broke in, they stole all the toilets. And the police are really baffled because, they just don't have anything to go on. April Fools. So there you go. Red Sox could not wait to get out of Seattle. I could not wait to see them leave Seattle. That's going to be an interesting. That is going to be an interesting rivalry this year. I think Seattle was so close. The Mariners were so close last year. So close, but to the winner go the spoils, as they say. So the Swansea Mall in Swansea, Mass. I've been hearing that mall for years. You always heard about the Swansea Mall, and I believe it's like on the South Shore and north of Fall River and near New Bedford. I'm not really familiar with the area, but I was not surprised to hear that another mall took a fall. It's just a dated. They're just dated. I mean, malls we have so many shopping options nowadays that malls just have to compete. And if you think about it, what a mall really is, it's a marketplace. What is a marketplace? It's where, you have a building where many merchants come in and sell their goods. And a mall really is nothing more than that. But, the design and the ease of shopping and that's gone. There's no ease of shopping anymore when you have to drive to a strip mall or the inner city mall. The ease of shopping is right here. Click, bought at your door tomorrow. I'm not saying, I don't even think that's bad, because a lot of these big stores, you get what you get. They just were, the kind of the Mount Rushmores of the time. The old man on the mountain, if you're from New England, of the time. The head falls off, rolls down the side of the hill. And, you move on to another day. So, And Mr. Attitude says, "Hey, good evening, everybody. It is Monday, April Fools, April 1st, okay, 2019. And a couple of things that were just on my mind tonight were nutrition in our inner cities. And I work, in a transitional neighborhood in Worcester, Massachusetts. There are several transitional neighborhoods and cities throughout the country that are experiencing, really just poor dieting. Um, and this isn't to blame. This is just what's available. Um, but what makes a great community great, and using Worcester and talking about Worcester, for example, is there's so much development going on, and that's great. And beyond the neon lights, we still have a lot of 7-Elevens, McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's. You can all have your preference, but and I'm the same. I have my preference with those guys. Can't eat there more than once every 2 weeks at any of those establishments, but they're all rooted in the same uh, kind of base in terms of what their food properties are, and it's not healthy stuff. So if you're living in an inner city, you have no transportation, you're on a benefit, you don't have access to really good quality food. You get what you buy what you can afford, and I got to tell you that most of the transitional neighborhoods and inner cities, these markets, from what I've seen, they are not Whole Foods, by the way. These markets are not encouraging people to, eat carrot sticks and celery sticks and, ranch dressing and, mix it with this and mix it with that and eat light. And no, they're selling a lot of crap in terms of, and I'm talking about in the poorer inner cities, which, hello, most of them are. Excuse me. But what does make a great city? What makes a healthy city is, tackling substance abuse, access to, you know, uh, uh, I'm sorry, access to care, cultural responsiveness, mental health. People don't think about that. Most people with a mental health condition generally concentrated in terms of a city, if you will, into low-income housing in the poor neighborhoods, and that's what your Section 8 voucher comes from. That's what your Section 8 voucher will come from. Yeah, the federal government. Mental health, economic opportunity, access to employment to improve your condition, access to bingo, healthy food, um, physical activity. Wow. Yeah, okay. And safety. Um, all of these, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Okay. These are all elements of what create, and this is actually the Coalition for a Healthy Greater Worcester Annual Report, 2017. I'm not going to go through the whole report, but and I want you guys to let me know if you agree or not. But if you're someone that's living paycheck to paycheck, meaning it's not a paycheck, it's my SSI is coming on the first, and my SSDI is coming on the third, and I've got a budget, and I just believe that if you're living in a project, government word, if you're living in a project, and as I said, nothing says poor community more than when a dollar store moves in, right, to your community. Let's face it, I mean, and the poorer communities are nutritious, healthy stores moving in. I mean, there may be some here and there, that, and they may make the news because they're doing the right thing, but they're few and far between, folks. They're few and far between. I mean, and you even hold on, Mr. Attitude. He's staring at me, scaring at me. Stare at these guys. There you go. There you go. Don't block Worcester. He gets like sometimes he gets all revved up like me because I gotta say this show's about passion. It's about fairness, um, equality, and this disparity of inequality because people who can afford good food, it's no different if you can afford a good car, you can't afford to buy one at all, or you know, tomorrow you have $10 to last. I was reading an article last night online and said, well, if you, and may be a little dated, but if you have $10 in your pocket, and you don't get paid for 2 days, you're probably going to be eating at McDonald's. But dude, I'm telling you, McDonald's. You go to McDonald's, you can spend $10 just on yourself, right? You buy the number one, buy a Burger King or Wendy's, you buy the number one. Do you want to supersize it? You want to do this? I know they don't use that word anymore, but your $10 is gone. So maybe you go to the dollar store and you buy Vienna sausage and some bread and from some knockoff brand. We don't even know where that food's coming from. Why are they selling it so cheap? Well, it's high in sodium and nitrates and just stuff that is not good for you. And that's generational in our inner cities. This is what we feed our kids. And I understand this is what maybe you have to do if you're a family. But it is kind of sad. You guys, and I'd love to hear from you regarding this. But and then when you're eating that kind of food, McDonald's, or as a parent, you're struggling to make ends meet. You're living in project housing, and you're on a benefit, and you're maybe on welfare, and you buy the food that you can afford, and then the people who actually, and I see this with a lot of the inner city merchants, I see little kids waving their parents' EBT card. They're not even supposed to have that EBT card, by the way. Okay? It's like, hey, when I was a kid, my uncle sent me to buy a pack of cigarettes. Yeah, okay. No. The owner of that EBT card is supposed to be present, and these guys don't look at that. The merchants don't look at that. They'll sell these guys anything. And a lot of these stores, you have to watch out in your poorer neighborhoods. I'm not whether they're national chains, whether local proprietors, but a lot of the product that they sell, you have to watch it because it's so out of code. I remember one time I stopped at a store that's a local store, as I'm describing where I work, and I did the grab and go thing. When I left, I grabbed the Slim Jim, and I got back to work. I peeled away the plastic and I started to eat it, and it was like eating a shoe. And then I looked at the code. Now, I worked in retail, and particularly around food a long time ago. I always look at the dates. But these dates, and this grab and go stuff, Mommy, I want that. Here, take it, shut up. And I was thinking about that when I was chewing on this thing. What if it was a 3-year-old kid or a 5-year-old kid? And I had bought this in May, and it had expired in November. So I went back and I told them, and I have a good rapport with these folks, but I said, you guys need to look through every single Slim Jim in that container was out of code. And I guarantee you they did not even throw them away. They said, okay, yeah, we'll take care of it, And some little kid, is eating the same thing. Mommy, this doesn't taste right. Dad, just eat it. Gross, But that kind of food is loaded with really, really poor quality product. Okay? It is. And what kind of physical activity do you really want to do after you ate at McDonald's? Right? Because it just weighs you down. The grease is like sinking into your feet, and it's like cement into the ground. Okay? It really, really is. So we're looking at healthy communities. Substance abuse is huge. Safety is huge. Safety is huge. What makes a healthy community? Good food, safety, good lighting. Uh, Cities don't spend a lot of money on road work and lights in poorer neighborhoods. It takes police officers much longer, and ask those guys in Chicago, LA, how long does it take the police to actually respond to an incident? Okay, so um, access to healthy foods. Whole Foods ain't moving in there. The only thing we can do is get people out of there. All right, that requires good education, um, you know, and employment. But that's what happens is people get locked into these benefits, and when they go and get a job, I'm sorry, these people, no disrespect, but inner city folks get locked into the benefit system. They're marginalized from the economy. They forgot actually what kind of work skill they actually do have to contribute to the economy. Okay, so, and then they got to go get a job with what? For minimum wage, but they're making this much from their benefit. They say, geez, if I go to work, oh, my housing's going to go up. I'm going to get penalized for going to work. So the whole system is effed up from the top down and the bottom up and the sideways from left to right. I don't have the answer, but I'm hoping that you guys can help us. You can have all these interventions and throw money at a problem, if you will. Engage people. There are initiatives in the cities to be able to go out there and from, cities and municipalities going out there, getting into the school systems. And not just having it be school food, but nutritious meals. And if you think about it, look at the schools that had to play mommy and daddy. Well, the kids aren't being fed at home, so we have to feed them here. We have to feed them good food here, and then people's taxes go up. Who aren't in that situation, they start complaining that my taxes are going up. So it's kind of well, maybe I'm a little negative tonight, but I feel really, really bad whenever I see a dollar store. Nothing says poor community than a dollar store, a Dollar Tree, or some guy or person that sells 6-month-old out of code Slim Jims. Okay, we prey upon people, and in some of these communities, these stores, they let you, they know you. Hey, Ken, don't worry, pay me when you get your check. So I load up and, by the time the first of the month comes, I'm coming in there and paying you all my money. And I keep running a tab. So I think I am blaming merchants. Merchants that move into poor communities, you're not helping anything. You're not feeding anybody anything. It's a bunch of crap. Vienna sausage. Gosh, there's more salt in that than there is at the DPW, garage that they throw on the roads in the wintertime. Right? So anyway, signing out. Again, disgusted. We have a long way to go with our inner cities. But we certainly can do. Let's try to, and just feeding people doesn't work. Food for the poor, and that's great. But we need to get people out of those cities, out of those areas. And why do those areas even exist to begin with? That was not the intent of where people were supposed to live. Our cities are old. I said today, geez, I was talking with someone today. Between transportation, the way our cities look. You would think the United States of America is the oldest country on the planet. You really would. You really would, between our roads, our inner cities, the concentration of poverty. Public transportation sucks. Unreliable. Okay? Some things are overfunded and a lot of things are underfunded. But you guys make up your mind, and I'm going to talk to you soon. All right? Take care, guys. Have a great night. Catch me on Facebook.